picture that I can't believe, and I want to be surprised. I want to see new things. That's some of the most exciting stuff about my job is getting to see the game evolve in front of me. And if North America, if this Rise Nation team can do that, that's exciting enough. So let's give me some new strats. Give me something new to look at.
Let's get something to praise here at the very least. And you know, I'll be that extra little buffer just because I do have to fly home after this. And well, I've got North America waiting for me when I get back. Ace towards the top of mid, tries to spot out any kind of a push from Heroic, and certainly enough, they will go towards that B site early. It's just going to be 4 players dedicated really to the top of Banana, leaving, of course, Nico towards the backside. And with 2 smokes, 2 flashbangs, they'll have a nice little set-piece execution. And Jonji's going to get some targets to tap away at. Interesting smoke that actually blocks off the front of the site, where Dazzle's found 2 headshots. He's stopped the bomb in the process, seeing as Rise Nation had 3 players here. And now we've got a numbers game. If Rise Nation can really seal this pistol, then that's the start that they would hope for. But it's already starting to fall back into the hands of Heroic as they clear out this bomb site for the most part. It is just Moose, dropped by Yugi, who is now tasked with a 1 versus 3. Oh! Disturbing headshot. Down goes VSA. Ace still with a kit, smoke, and Kevlar to try and clutch this out with. This is the duel of the Oppers, but right now they're just on pistols.
Getting the battle early here, and it looks like Rise Nation, they had the stack going. Heroic ran into it, but Yugi's been able to turn this one around. He's spotted out Ace. He knows where he is, has lots of time on his side.
Oh, he could just walk away. Tuck tail and head out towards that A site.
This is a good play right now from Yugi. Really making the most of the clock. He's going to be able to get away. He's going to be able to get that bomb down. HP is really his only enemy right now, but he can get into a good after-plant position. He might have the one up on Ace here. The Ace might be up Yugi's sleeve. Speaking of cards.
Plant over for pit side. Obviously, poor Ace is just going to have to charge over. At least he's got that kit. And, oh, he's still...
Wait, come on, dude. What? You would have heard the plant going down. He's been absolutely juked. This is where the clock starts to tick in favor of Yugi here. And he has so much time to get into a decent post-plant position, but he would have been assuming Ace would have been on his tail, or at least he would have been there a little bit quicker. Still in a powerful position here at pit.
Ace is now going to arrive on the bomb site. Again, time, another issue. Oh, and Yugi with a 1-tap. He robs it away. 4K on the pistol, the 5 versus 3 for Rise Nation, and they still can't get it done.
Everything went in Rise Nation's favor. They had the correct stack. They found the early frags, and then Yugi, he just goes, I've had enough of this. This is how I'm going to kick off the day. Nice, clean, crisp, sharp, swift, quick headshots, and closes out the 1v1 in stylish fashion. Yeah, just you love it. You love it.
Put to sleep.
I think I'm going to I'm going to say that the USP 1-taps just remind me of like Deagle 1Bs in 1.6. It just has that crisp, clean feel. You don't get the same...
You literally feel it.
Yeah, it's a nice feeling. He's happy with that. He's smiling. It's a good way to start the day.
I mean, individually speaking, he played great yesterday as well, right? Yeah, he was that level above and beyond. And unfortunately for Rise Nation, when we watched them play versus Gambit, they didn't have a response to Hobbit. If Yugi decides to step into those shoes, then we might watch Rise Nation struggle yet again. And we've chalked it up to those situations, right? Individual level. Yugi is much more comfortable playing versus higher opponents. And poor Rise Nation are kind of a fish out of water.
It's probably not a bad idea. I'm assuming this is tactical. It could be technical. I'm not going to throw anyone under the bus here. Let's just pretend it's either or. It's probably a good chance to just recuperate after losing that round that should have been an absolute sitter for Rise Nation. Now the question is, what are they going to go for? And it looks like they've opted for a bit of a force buy. Whether or not something changes after this pause, I can currently see we've got a CZ, a 5-7, Deagle on the likes of these Rise Nation players. So they want to take the fight to Heroic, and that's very admirable. I think there's 2 ways you can look at it, right? You can either take those ecos and you can save up for the first gun round. If you get blown out of the water, you don't feel competitive. You're already 5 rounds in the hole, and the game is running away from you. Or you go for the force buy. You know, you make it competitive. You get a couple of frags. You start feeling good. You maybe even win one of these eco or force buy rounds coming in, and then the momentum swing happens, and you actually believe that you can compete at this level. Oh, it is a tech issue. We've been informed. So the question mark now begins of when we're going to be back in the action. But we can be entertaining.
Yeah, let's.
I can... no, I can't. I was going to say I can juggle. I can't juggle.
What would you juggle if you had the choice to in this room right now?
In this room, we got 3 water bottles. They're probably all of similar weight. Yep. No, let's not play in this room games, especially if Anders is listening. His is a bit more morbid than most. What do we got going on this morning? There's quite a few people out here.
For an early game?
Yeah. Yeah, I like.
No Europeans.
I love to see it.
Or rather,
what do you reckon the percentage of Swedes are? 97% Swedish? There's, could be 100 people, maybe. Yeah, 97 people are Swedes.
I mean, you know what? Stunna hit you with the question yesterday. I'll do it again today.
Okay.
Change up your breakfast routine?
No, I went the same thing because like I looked at the eggs and bacon and I thought to myself, the bacon's not good enough.
No.
It just doesn't look good enough. I just went ham and cheese in the roll, 2 mini donuts,
Yep.
and cappuccino.
You can't go wrong with a good cappuccino at the start of the day.
What did you crack off with?
Went with a cappuccino. Started off with a nice strawberry yogurt muesli mix.
Wow, you've gone relatively healthy there.
Thank you. And then followed suit with a nice half plate of scrambled eggs and a couple crispy bacons.
So you went the bacon. How did you feel? Because I know in Canada you've got the Canadian bacon, which is quite nice.
Oh, don't get me started. So Canadian bacon.
Yeah.
If you're in the United States, that we just call that ham in Canada.
Okay.
They have fabricated lies about our country.
Wouldn't be the first time, would it?
Bacon in Canada is simply bacon.
Yeah, but you know like streaky bacon that they rock in the US? Is that what you're talking about? Is your bacon?
What do you mean streaky bacon?
It's like the skinny stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay. So you guys don't even have the good bacon. In Australia, we got the good bacon. It's like, okay, so I can't even, look, you're just going to have to come out there one time to experience the greatness that is our bacon. There's more to it. It's less fatty. It's more delicious.
Okay.
There's a lot of good things going on with Australian bacon.
Have you ever had, because here's something that's in Canada's pocket, if
Sure.
we're talking bacon here, maple bacon.
Yeah, what is with your obsession with maple? I haven't had it. I was actually in Vancouver over Christmas time. I went out to a lovely place called Naramata. It was on the lake. That was quite nice. I may have had maple bacon then. I don't know.
I have maple candies in my bag if you'd like some.
No. It's okay. I'm staying away from the sweets.
All right.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Watching what I eat. Watching my figure.
Have you ever been to the east coast of Canada?
Not intentionally. No, I think maybe like on an airport stop or something. I don't think
Okay.
I've actually been out and visited the country. Where did I want to go? Where's that place? Banff?
Banff, yeah.
That's quite a
It's the West
beautiful
Coast.
looking place. All right. Okay. We're going to keep talking about Canada, I suppose, for a little bit. Because you know why we're talking about Canada? Because Rise Nation have 3 players from Canada.
Very true.
2 from the US.
One of which is named Moose.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit yesterday. I don't know what the guy's thinking, really, is he?
I followed suit with a little research.
About the name?
Yeah, moose do indeed moo.
Really?
Yeah. 100%.
Okay. Well, okay. I was trying to think more about Australian animals and the noises they make, and they don't really do a lot, right? We've got an emu, which is for those that you're playing at
An
home,
ostrich.
similar, very similar. If you head across to where I live, which is Perth, Western Australia, we've got a thing called a quokka. Now, quokka is the cutest animal in the world. If anyone can get a picture, it's not going to happen, but the quokka on screen right now would be amazing. Everyone would melt. Platypus is a weird animal, dude.
Yeah.
Lays eggs. It's got a bill.
Big flat tail, right?
Yeah, it's a bit like it's like a mixture between like a beaver and a duck. It's a crazy species going on out there. It's a wild ride.
I feel like it's a crazy place as far as wildlife is concerned.
What do they got out here? Deer? They got deer out here.
Yeah, I feel like you'd have reindeer here in Sweden.
I actually remember I stayed in Stockholm with the Fnatic guys years ago now. Woke up one morning early and there's just deer like running around someone's backyard. I was like, this is all right.
We have that in Canada. I'm from rural Canada, so we get actually a lot of wildlife, even just like, say, on our properties.
So you
deer
got
at night is the
internet
thing. Yeah, we do have internet as well. It's actually still better than Australian internet, I believe.
It's not hard. It's really not hard. Here we go. Sweden's most dangerous animal. Besides moose, reindeer, deer, and various birds, which you can spot without too much effort in Sweden, it's also home to predators such as the bear, wolf, lynx, and wolverine.
See, so this is...
I didn't know Hugh Jackman lived in Sweden.
You got to look out for them.
Hey, I'm loving the sound effects.
Sweden and Canada actually have a lot of comparable attributes when it comes to wildlife, flora and fauna.
I'm a big fan of fauna.
As you should be.
But we're back into the action, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Strap yourself in. The second round of Rise Nation vs. Heroic. First map of the best of 3 is kicking off here. The force buy has come in. Grenades will rain out early as Heroic just set up a default.
A little burst of energy, and I like it.
Yeah, you know, I want to get everyone hyped. It's still early.
It is. It is. But it's still early on in this one as well, and it's that point that, of course, Rise Nation could create an upset had Heroic headed out towards the B site. They go for the 4-man stack off of the upgraded pistols, a single smoke on Dazzle. Could always bait them in.
Great observing, by the way. I want to give props where needed because it shows the anticipation. What's being set up here, the 4-man stack on the B bomb site by Rise is about to be greeted with some utility as Heroic have banana control. Bomb is in second middle though, so this is merely an information, a fact-finding mission from Heroic as they poke and prod and see what they can see. Snappy finding 2.
Yugi the third as well. So had this plan not gone their way, they could have easily changed direction, headed up towards that A site with the bomb still lingering that way. And in fact, this just goes even better for Heroic. They start to take down the defense, dismantle the threat, and will still find A open for the taking.
Yeah, it's nice to move the CTs around, make them feel relatively uncomfortable early on, and that was good by Snappy to find those 2 kills and the information, and they're going to be able to get that bomb down, hopefully hold on to the rest of these weapons. If you're the guys from Rise, though, you may as well save, right? There's no point going for this. There's no point giving up what you have. 5-7 can be very deadly. Moose can drop that CZ, hold on to that UMP, and they'll have 3 decent weapons going into the 3rd round. So, it's not the worst place to be. Not the worst place at all. I want to see something a little bit different come out from Heroic, right? Like, I know they've got a new coach. I know that, they're still trying to prove themselves in a consistent fashion, but when you are such a huge favorite, play with a little bit of disrespect, right? Like, I know that seems like a dangerous thing to do, but if you can snowball, if you can like make Rise just feel like they can't do anything at all, you can run away with the match in convincing fashion. I find if you give too much respect when it isn't due, then the team will get to play an actual brand of Counter-Strike that they're used to. Whereas back in North America, they're not used to getting run over, right? It would be something which is, they can be competitive against 90% of the teams. But maybe Heroic can run over them, and then the game can just change. The face of the match will just become something different. You get confidence up for the Heroic guys, getting into their potential second best of 3 for the day. There's all positives, and that's something that had happened to me quite a few times in my career, was just, you have to force them to respect you. So that's a mission for Rise early. Make Heroic respect you.
We'll see if they can do anything in this round. I mean, it's one of those moments where they could create some kind of a cost. I can't help feel like Inferno actually plays into what you're going on about with when it comes to just establishing respect, because a lot of teams will opt to go for saves if they lose bomb sites really quickly.
Yes.
So if you can just completely stampede one half of the map, then you'll start to condition Rise Nation to play timidly. And if you have that in your pocket, then it's just really another win. But with a couple of smokes towards the B site, they'll yet again pry for information. Snappy on the forefront, just like last round. He did eventually lose his UMP, but that happens yet again. EC Tag trades back with a Galil, and Heroic have had enough already. They'll start fading towards the A site, where, in fact, Jonji tries to come over, and, well, Dazzle's here. He's got that CZ. If only Moose was nearby.
They reacted quite quickly on the information that Snappy was able to get once more and have a 4-on-2 here on this A bomb site. Jonji should go down any minute. USP not going to get anything done. Still alive, though, giving Dazzler a chance to strike from behind, but S-Tag's going to finish him off. Nico quickly taking down Jonji, and now it is a 2-on-3 situation with the bomb site in favor of Heroic.
Maudie as well going to upgrade to his AK, so poor Moose will be pinned into the library. It's going to buy some time for Ace to wrap round with his 5-7. Up close versus EC Tag, could have found damage had EC Tag not found the headshot, and now Maudie's just going to suppress Moose, keep him pinned into the doorway. Moose wants to get out here, but he's cut down. So Heroic with the pistol, with the following conversion points, as everything should be so far.
Nice and easy, not too many dramas there, business as usual. And this is where I think if you want to have a chance to get into the game, Rise needs to strike. And they are going to have a problem because they went for that force buy in the second. This means we normally see a little bit less utility as you'd like in the gun rounds. You can see, look, not a single Molotov being able to get picked up in utility. We always talk about it, hugely important. So they either have to play a little bit more aggressively, they have to try and strike first and find that opening frag, or have the balls to hold on to that utility and try and use it in the mid-round as territory has been taken. But a very standard start coming out from Heroic, just establishing map control, waiting out any early utility. As you can see, nobody in Banana, which is one of the most highly contested parts of the map, as Halls and Boiler control is taken first, and now Banana control will be taken by Heroic nice and easily. Not a lot of action going on.
Curious to me, of course, that we actually watch Ace just play passively to the back of the B-bomb site. He is one of those operators that will go for the kind of flary opening picks if he has to. But I would also chalk him up as a solid anchor when it comes to bomb sites, right? So this is a prime position to do that from. It's going to be a lot of pressure on Ace in particular if Jonji gets smoked off from the cross and tries to wrap back through construction. There'll be that moment where he might not have any help here. And if Ace goes down, then it's really the B site in question. And with Rise Nation so far away, not even nearby to rotate, this could be one of those rounds that we're talking about where they're convinced to save.
All in all, this is really bad decision from the guys of Rise. They don't have any information across the map. They're not using their weaponry and going for any aggressive picks. They've conceded map control within 30 seconds. And now the BXQ just comes in from Heroic. Ace getting pushed out of position, and he's in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, doesn't even spot the cross. Here comes Jonji, creeping in through the smoke, and instantly 3 versus 5. And look, there it is.
And here's what happens. As the in-game leader, as an in-game leader of the past, here's what rings out. Here's what bellows through your headset. It's a very docile tones of save. It's grim. It's a grim time to be alive as you lose a bomb site that quickly. You didn't even have a stake in the round. A bullet hasn't even been shot from Moose, VSA, or Dazzle. Look at this. They haven't even had to look at anybody, and you're already out of the round. That is one of the worst possible feelings that you can have. And this is because they didn't play transitional. They didn't play for any information. When you have no utility, you have to take a risk. You have to stack somewhere. You have to be a little bit more aggressive. You can't just sit and wait for a team like Heroic who dry run day in, day out. They're well drilled. They're going to do that to you all day. That's what they want. Give them that territory. They'll come at you. They'll throw that at you. And they're going to make the rounds look as easy as that, time and time again.
I mean, I can't help but feel like even just the utility there is what ultimately won the round versus Ace. We saw him trying to sit comfortably to the back of the site. Molotovs push him towards new box. He's flashed in the process. And when he rescopes, he never even sees the man come over. So kind of dead to rights straight away.
Yeah, this is where you should be forced buying into this. If you're Rise, you've saved 3 rifles, you had a little bit of money, you probably could have dropped some maybe FAMASs or UMPs and then force bought into it. There's no point going for the save on the other 2. You have enough rifles to be competitive. They have gone for that B stack again, and Dazzle getting caught with his pants down there. Yugi's taken a truckload of map control and just going to find an easy frag, and now we're 4 on 5, 20 seconds into the round.
And I feel like that smoke that he just threw, that's one that you can throw from safety as well.
Blunders. Blunders galore.
Now having to use a second smoke in order to close the gap that had been left from Dazzle's missed grenade.
Just look how nice this is from Heroic, right? They've got the opening frag, and now you know that they have to split the defense into a 2-2. You go hit a bomb site as a unit with a nice little set piece, which you're seeing fly out right now. They're just going to trade out efficiently, right? You go 1 for 1, you have the bomb site. They're locked out again. The rotation is coming in. We can see the likes of Jonji and Ace making their way over. But is it too late as the arch wrap is coming in?
And even if they start to peek library, there's 3 Ts waiting. They could leave a single anchor even to wrap around if they find any kind of resistance. Right now, Nico sprays, and he'll find Jonji first and foremost. Just Ace with a deagle and able to find EC tag to the back of the head. Still a little hesitant here, and Moose actually chimes in with a frag towards Snappy, but there we have it. Heroic back on the kill feed, and that's going to leave Ace to retrieve the M4 and just walk away from this.
Yeah, you might be mistaken to say, oh, they got a little bit messy, they found 2 frags there. But that's exactly what I was talking about. They had the number advantage, they used the execute, they pinpointed the positions that the CTs could be in, and they just traded out efficiently. That's fundamental Counter-Strike, right? It's not going to be clean cut every single time, especially on the T side. You're going into crossfires, you're going into bomb sites, the CT's home turf. But that's fantastic from Heroic. They're making the right decisions. And this is almost like dry running with people to shoot, right? This is how the decision making for them is color by numbers. It's textbook. And this is fantastic. This is what you want to see. And as long as the stars, as long as the Yugis, the Nikos of the world can find their frags, then everything should be pretty simple for Heroic going forward. I want to see some aggression from Rise. I want to see some balls come out. They did take the save with Ace and, was it Jonji just then, or Dazzle, one of the 2, they only went into pistols, so they could definitely go for a buy round right here, but I want to see aggression, I want to see some map control. I'm not sure if they realized that banana control wasn't taken early by Heroic on that first gun round, but it's one of the most pivotal positions on this map. I would love to see them go for some aggression early. And we have Molotovs this time, we got 5 to be exact on the side of Rise Nation.
Yet again, Rise Nation going to be going towards the 3 early B, and sure enough, Ace on the forefront, but actually doesn't go for any kind of a peek, and they use that deep smoke to find a little bit of sanctuary, flashbang to try and take control, and here we go, a little forward map control that nets them an opening frag. Ace does win the duel versus Yugi, and that's something to play off of, especially now as the attempt into A has been shut down by the in-game leader. VSA finding the 2K, Nico finding the pit. And with that, a response back and an opportunity for Snappy to come dismantling into the bomb site. 2 players down on short, and now Heroic right back into the round.
Great awareness by VSA to find those 2 frags, but Snappy from out of nowhere finds 2 of his own, and the bomb will go down. Good plant for Nico in pit there, and the utility he has is going to hold the CTs at bay, as you do have 1 player coming around the porch side and the other waiting at mini pit behind the smoke. Difficult to get back into this one with Nico on that bike position.
Just going to keep Jiggle peeking the edge. Of course, CT is very close, and now Jonji wins the duel. Snappy's down, and it's just Nico up. This is the man that cracked the site really open, created that distraction. Can he create the clutch? No. Ace mows him down, and here we have it. Rise Nation on the board.
Get on that defuse. don't be hesitating. Don't be asking who's got the kit. They're going to take a round there, and that was definitely based off that early frag they were able to get from Banana and VSA's awareness to that contact play coming out halls. Big 2 frags from him. Lucky to really hold that one at bay with Snappy finding 2 of his own. But yeah, this awareness right here to be ready that early in the round, it was a great call by Heroic. I like the change of pace. I like the fact they went for the 3-man contact play out apps, but VSA was ready. He needed to do what he needed to do. But here's the big problem for Rise. They need to string this round together. Otherwise, they're going to be facing that hard reset. Nobody wants to be in that place.
I mean, we talked about how this is kind of the start that Rise Nation would have needed to create the upset, let alone Heroic to now have this opportunity in their hands. But yet again, it'll be the Banana aggression. Ace gonna get flashed off. He can't help his teammate, who does deal some damage, but the repeat's good. The second shot, not so much. And so it's an even trade here, back and forth from both Heroic and Rise Nation. Draws the rotation from Dazzle. And even VSA repositioning over towards Arch, but a couple smokes in from Heroic is not actually a commitment.
Yeah, it's a missed smoke as well, so they should know here that they can play the rotation back to A and get numbers, but you can see how far back on the minimap, on the radar up there, that the Heroic players are waiting. You know, they're sitting there hoping that aggression comes out from the CTs, hoping they give away a free frag. The best thing you can do right now is not be in limbo. Where Dazzle is over towards Arch, he just needs to pick a position, just hold up, be ready to swing in case a rotation comes in or a call comes in, but you don't want to be stuck between both bomb sites. You don't want to be floating too much. Right now, anywhere across the map, Heroic can find a 3v1, right? This is where the Rise players need to stand and deliver, and it's definitely going to be on Dazzle right now. Back of the bomb, he's going to find one. The second coming in. So Moose is going to take Modi down on the other side of the map, and this is where Yugi, we've seen him do it. Can he do it again?
He'll have the utility to burn Dazzle out, but Dazzle takes the fight, takes it on his own terms. And in that case, wins himself the duel, wins Rise Nation a second round, and I mean, we talked about dodging that reset. This is exactly what they needed.
That's what they needed, and the fact that Dazzle was like happy to take that fight instead of playing scared and waiting for backup, that's good. That's what you want to see, right? In certain scenarios, you probably wouldn't recommend it, but he was pinned down. He did have a one-on-one duel. That Molotov did come in. It didn't leave him too many options. So good for Dazzle there to find those 2 frags, and this is where they, you know, still their money is on a knife's edge. But they're taking a bit more of an assertive stance on this CT side, and that's definitely where you need to be. They're taking the fight to Heroic, and Heroic need to switch up the gears now. Maybe let their players off the leash a little bit, go for a little bit more individualism, maybe go for a couple more plays.
Curious to see what Heroic will start to do about this Banana aggression, because we've seen Rise Nation use it now 3 rounds in a row. Said, of course, that they had to take that ambitious stance, and Jonji down the cubby, clears the first. EC tag caught off guard, he tries the second, but Yugi able to trade straight back, and Ace, well, he wants to keep himself standing. Smart play. No need to fully commit here and give that B site for free.
That Banana aggression is like merely a matter of time, right? If you're Heroic and you want to contest it early, it's just a battle of utility. We saw that yesterday with Na'Vi and Gambit. Those guys were throwing out the majority of their nades from both sides within the first 20 seconds of each round. Here, Heroic are more than happy to concede, not take any damage, and then take it back later, trade out efficiently. And on the T side, this is where you're favored, right? Because now you can split the defense and have some 2-on-4 scenarios. It looks like they do want to posture towards his A bomb, so that is a quick hit coming in.
Dazzle, he's going to be completely blind, so VSA in the cubby, he finds one of his own. But then Modi is able to clear out that bomb site, and this smoke has completely nullified Moose's position. He's found no angle as of yet, and as it fades, so does he. And the chances from Rise Nation as they fall to this 2 versus 3. Dazzle getting up from lane, though. This could catch them off guard.
Ooh.
But they seem aware.
Nice flash from Yugi. He always seems to know what's coming next. And he's going to take down Dazzle in very stylish fashion, and Ace has got no other option but to save. So the economy right now for the guys from Rise is not fantastic. It's pretty low. VSA only has $1,000. Going to get a bit of that 1,400 coming in. So this is where they have to decide, do they want to go for the 4-spy to try and keep it competitive? Because this is where they can struggle for control. They can fight back, and they can potentially push Heroic onto an eco. If they can string that next round together off of a 4-spy, or do they go for the save? Do they play the fundamental CS? Do they get back to that point where they had the utility? The question marks are here. I would probably take a pause in this scenario because it's still early on. You get 4 of them. Maybe take attack. Maybe just chill out a little bit, talk through the possibilities, because there's still a lot of rounds to be played.
It's one of those moments whereby we said they had to dodge the hard reset, but it's not as though they got into much of a safety net either. And Yugi just doing what he did at the beginning of this map, which was kind of step up individually, really reading that peak from Dazzle. They've actually opted not to buy.
Yeah, look, you can respect that, right? I definitely, you go through the highs and lows of this, the game changes, and when you play at this level, you want to do things as fundamentally sound as possible to give you the best chance, but sometimes trying to take the fights is one of those better decisions. So they've opted for the eco. They've got a couple of P250s, CZ, that AK-47, but it's just this B stack. So they've, look, we've seen quite a few hits come out from Heroic towards that B site. We've had Snappy over there on the fact-finding mission versus the ecos. It's obviously somewhere that Heroic want to favor. If they go in blindly, if they go in with a full execute and Rise are able to play around those smokes, it will make their life very difficult, and they could pull out an eco win. But the stack time and time again, it's not very creative. They're not really allowing their stars to shine. They're more sitting in wait, hoping and praying, as it may be.
And we actually have seen Heroic come into these sorts of rounds with leaving those men over towards apartments. Sometimes with bomb, this case, not that. It will be over here towards the B site. It's patient from Heroic, and I feel like this is justified. They've recognized that they gave the smallest of opportunities for Rise Nation, and they're looking to really strip that away. But in fact, off of the utilities, EC Tag will continue to search for something in the B site. Meanwhile, bomb goes towards the A. So at this point, poor VSA, he's just sitting underneath this balcony. And he's got a lot of pressure being applied to him. Sure enough, Jonji's going to maybe get in here just in time to create a distraction. Hell, even a couple of kills would be nice, but instantly deleted as the two players here. Sure enough, Maudie trades to Jonji. That was the bomb drop for a moment, but a moment's not long enough. Doesn't even buy time for the CTs to rotate over, so...
Ace definitely needs to hold that AK, right? That almost goes without saying. But if you're Dazzle and Moose, you may as well team up and try and find an exit, see if you can grab another AK, bolster your weaponry going into the next round. We did see, so let's kind of theory craft going forward, right? We saw that Banana aggression come out. The problem is I don't think they should play in Banana. Just contest it early because Heroic obviously want to wait out the utility. Use that one smoke, maybe use a Molotov or two Molotovs just to be certain that they're not grabbing it early. But then hold on to another smoke and a couple of flashes for maybe some mid-round aggression. Let them have top of Banana, let them use their utility, make them work for it, and then take the fight to them. Because they clearly, they don't care if you want Banana early. They're happy to play that waiting game. That seems to be the game plan that Snappy and Peacemaker have laid out here. They're not going to contest with any fights they don't need to. They know they can make the mid-round calls. They know they have all these executes. It's fantastic to see all the different moves that they have in place that this Heroic roster has actually, worked on. So they have everything in their back pocket. It's just it has to be a different approach from Rise. Maybe try some aggression in apps. Maybe take a fight somewhere else on the map.
I was going to bring that up, actually. I feel like we've watched Heroic just take apartments for free, very similarly to the way that they were taking Banana in the opening 5 rounds. Yeah. Rise Nation get aggressive towards Banana, and hell, they get a couple rounds on the board. So definitely I feel like apps has really just been a bit of a question mark as far as Rise Nation are concerned.
Look, here's where I'd love to just see some really ballsy risk come out from Rise, right? They've taken this much map control early. Why not just have some... Why not try just something out of the box? Smoke off the A-ramp, have a pop flash, push through the smoke, take the fight to Rise, and really just mix it up a little bit. Take the fight to Rise, take the fight to Heroic. They are Rise. And they're not on the Rise right now. They're 2-7 down. And this is the thing, they're posturing. We've already seen good Banana retakes come out from Heroic, right? So they're probably going to do it again. You can see the two guys on the radar on the steps waiting for this smoke. Yugi in the little mini pit. Holes in apps, holes in winter and being taken, like you said. They've got a lot of map control early anyway, right?
I feel like this just goes back to what you were saying about how Rise Nation are just kind of wanting to play that textbook CS, and it's not necessarily there that they will shine. But Ace, he lines up too as they tried to push up down through Banana. He stops at least that forefront.
Snappy smells blood.
Yeah, he's going to give this one chase. Ace on 13 HP with a dirty tap through the head of Snappy. Breaks his neck.
Night-night.
4 versus 2 and Ace is done for. Not even going to get the chance to peek off of that. Didn't really have an opportunity to move. VSA, surely enough, will rotate over and get here in time. He's got Dazzle by his side and, of course, Moose on that flank. But Maudie, he's wary of it. And that heads up does pan out for now. 2v2, health advantage. This seems like Heroic are getting their feet back beneath them. Flashbang goes over and Nico not going to peek, but still keeping Rise Nation kind of hesitant, really. They have that single Molotov to burn Nico into the open. Nobody's going to find the kill off of it. Not yet. And in fact, he drops Dazzle. VSA clothesline by Maudie, and Heroic back on the board.
Easy as that, really. Ace did a fantastic job there. Obviously, that Molotov, he was just playing to lay time then for the best he could. But yeah, when you get in those situations, the utility left on those heroic players made life very, very easy. They were able to keep the CTs at bay for as long as possible. Dazzle being on low health meant he's going to be a bit more timid on that retake. And it's one of those situations where it just feels like everything goes your way if you're heroic. And it did. As we're going to see that banana presence early once more. So they're opting for this time. When they know they're eco, they take banana early. They get those 2 Molotovs out, they clear out the top, and they have Snappy going in. The reason that they're sending, you know, your in-game leader in is, right, normally he's the guy who talks the most. So he's going to relay all the information and give you the right decision based off what he's able to pick up. I have a bit of a pet peeve that's happening right now, though. The bomb being that far back. Flashbacks.
I have a question, Chad. Have we seen a single Rise Nation player even step into the apartments until this point?
Look, my vision has been elsewhere, but I'm sure. Look, apartments is a very scary place to be because of how wall bangable it is, right? Those walls are basically like cardboard. So if they're sitting back in alt mid, if they're spamming through the window, spamming through the balcony, you don't want to take any early damage. I think maybe an option you might want to look for is posting up an AWP player there, or you could go back to something because we do see them push up alt middle very quickly to get up into window room. Throw out the old, I call them VG, very games nades. You just get 2 guys in boiler room, bang the nades out the window, get on out of there as quickly as possible. You can do some early damage. You can hopefully hold them back. There's lots of cool things you can do. You can pop flash into boiler room. You can do all these different bits and pieces, but you're bang on in the sense of they're giving up that part of the map early to only 2 players, and they're giving it up time and time again. And I always talk about this, and I apologize to all the people at home if you're fed up of hearing me talk about transitional defense on Inferno. But it's one of those maps where you can sit posture jiggle peeking either on either side of middle, at the end of halls, top of banana. Utility will push you away, right? Banana is probably the one where it is the scariest to do so. But there's no reason at the end of halls you can't sit there jiggle peeking left and right? You're relatively safe. And as soon as they see you, you can get on out of there, and they have to use utility. They have to work as a team to clear that angle out. Same as middle. You're not really losing anything by posturing in those positions, especially if you have some protocols set up for how you're going to fall back, what flashes are going to come in, and how you're going to react in certain scenarios. All you're doing is slowing down the T's in their approach, and that is one of the things that you want to do, not only with utility, but with presence. There's a pause.
I feel like a perfect example of that lack of kind of posturing comes down to the round where we see 3 players on the A site save and not a single man has even fired a shot. I haven't seen anybody.
Yeah.
Again, just very much giving Heroic the space that they're going to exploit against you, I think. Again, I feel like Rise Nation just need to continue what they had tried to do with that change up towards the B site, which was just take more aggressions. Sure enough, at first they shied away from the bottom of banana. Now they're stancing up towards it. We've seen players push into the corners, both by logs and the opposite side, but we've never seen them push past the bottom of mid. We've never seen that deep A flank. They are just playing a very heavy rotation between the bomb sites and at never any point really trying to contest versus Heroic.
Yeah. Well, they must have established by this point, right, that once they... Ace's shot rings out and barely misses, but they are doing that banana aggression again. Jonji with the flash is almost going to find 2 frags there, but he goes down as Dazzle is unable to get in there due to the Molotovs, due to the flames keeping him at bay. But once more, the opening frag does go in the favor of Heroic here, and this is where the class, you know, their I guess their experience comes into play, because their mid-round decision-making has been on point here, even though Yugi and Nico were just a breath away from falling down. This is good by Moose. He has to take this. He has to take that aggression. That information is going to come in very handy here. He needs to play to contain, and that's what he's doing. I really like this. He's playing to contain. He's not pushing the whole way through. Third one. Modi flicks around and takes Moose down.
This is what Modi does, right? He just plays separate from the rest of his team. I think a great example would be his B-site play on Overpass. Again, a moment whereby his team needs an exit, they need a rotation, and he creates it. But now it's Ace on the bomb site, unable to hit another shot, and crucially so, because of 4 versus 2 for Heroic, they will take happily at this point. That's going to be double digits, because I don't see Rise Nation going for the retake.
It started so well. Like, there was a lot of damage being dealt, and then I thought Moose's aggression was definitely well-paced. He found information, and like I said, he was playing to contain. And what I mean by that is if you keep pushing, you're going to eventually leave a gap, and you also might get found out because you're too hungry. That shot that Modi just hit on Moose was gnarly. I think that's the way we'd probably want to put it. So he got very unlucky in that scenario. Probably should have made that frag himself. As you can see, he's at the bottom of the scoreboard, not having too much success early on. But I like the way that they approached that in the mid-round. It started well. It's just Heroic are the better team, the better players. What else can you say?
I feel like the opportunity from Heroic made off of Modi is literally a perfect example of that. It is just pure skill. Hell of a headshot. Poor Moose never sees it coming. Gets left on the side like roadkill, and here we have it. Rise Nation still on 2 as Heroic get themselves into the double digits. And unfortunately, it's Rise Nation again just trying to haphazardly piece together the buy.
I don't know why okay, look, you're 10-2 down. At this point, you have to buy. Let's not just be going for these little limp buys. You need to be forcing into this. You need to be trying to get some rounds on the board because it is the CT side of Inferno. And Dazzle, he is going to get aggressive. He's going to look for some frags, but S-Tag's going to take him down. Yugi's going to find one of his own. VSA stepping out. We'll spray down Snappy there, but the trade comes in swiftly, and now it's just Jonji and Moose left with the CZ-75s, the weapon of the gods. Oh, it doesn't matter. You're dead, you're dead, you're dead. The flight moment is going to be lovely. Hopefully you're not with American Airlines. They're not one of my favorites. SAS is good. SAS is good from this part of the world.
Are they?
A bit of SAS, yeah.
I've always actually been a big fan of Turkish Airlines.
Really? I've never flown with Turkish Airlines.
Surprisingly pleasant.
Lufty's always good. $99 Luft balloon.
Air France?
Nope.
Biased flying out of Montreal. But here's the double op setup, Sponge. Here's something fresh from Rise Nation. We wanted something new. We wanted diversity. They are Canadian after all. But it does come with a shortcoming as well. 2 kits, little utility,
oh,
and
come on. You just
unfair.
threw the smoke. Dude, give the guy a break.
He's trying his best.
Man, oh man. Nothing's going for Ace, really, is it? Look at him, he's boosted up. He's probably going to get flashed off the position. S-Tag's done this flash every time they've retaken Banana. They've been very disciplined. Heroic have played a very boring brand of Counter-Strike. I apologize for everybody at home, but if you're a bit of a nerd like me, what they're doing is very fundamentally sound. They're crossing their T's, dotting their I's, and Ace is going to have a lot of work cut out for him there. But Yugi set up. That's 2 for him in this round. Got the Julies in hand. Lots of utility. The B take will come in, and this should be another round for Heroic, because you have to contest at this point. Jonji has to go for this play. Like, he has to. What is the point of saving 11-2 down? What is the... just why? Like, this isn't a prac.
They're scared, Sponge.
Yeah, but you're trying to win. This is their map pick, right?
I feel like they're trying to survive at this point. But yeah, you're absolutely right. It is their map pick, and they have Nuke coming up next, where, you know, maybe they were anticipating
losing Inferno so they could get stuck in Nuke a bit quicker.
Yeah.
Yeah, genius. Thinking ahead.
Maudie just doesn't even give Dazzle a chance. VSA gives himself away, or at least his position, burned into the open, blasted. So a save, not going to get you much, because in the end, Jonji's going to die as well. And so not even contesting that B-site retake, trying to play for the save, and you're not even afforded that, really. Heroic just denying you on all fronts. Dispatching of you piece by piece.
Just a note, like I always talk about how flary Yugi is, and we saw it yesterday in their matchup. But the way that Heroic is setting up these rounds for him to go for kills, sure, the one through the smoke was completely random, right? That's not going to happen every day of the week. But that second one, that's perfect. They flash, the riflers push in, clear the close angles, he holds the line. That's exactly how you want Counter-Strike to go, right? And those are the kind of frags which, as an AWPer, that should be your bread and butter. Those are the ones you need to hit time and time again. You don't want any of that meme, the Drake and 30-degree window. You want to be able to consistently bang those in the bank every time they're thrown at you. Great approach here by Heroic. If you're a team at home and you want to steal a default and you want to understand, you know, how to take this territory and what to do, just basically steal this. Just look at this strat and just you can rinse and repeat against any Banana aggression. It's very basic, but very effective. As Ryza finding out as Heroic slowly taking this game away from them 1 round at a time.
I feel like that East Tag flashbang is really a prime example. Again, in a round where Ace is posted alone, he's pushed off. Gets no footing for it. Has to then draw the second player back. Jonji on 38 HP, who was tagged up earlier on. And then Heroic, even though they've now established that they could have Banana control, opt to go 5 players towards A. Moose from above.
Isn't that? That setup worked for them earlier once where VSA was able to grab 2 frags, but Moddy's not having any of it as he takes down the man himself, and VSA left in a very awkward position.
Yeah, it's going to be committed to the corner, finding the first and second, dropping the bomb. And a bit of an opportunity, but unfortunately for him, he's stuck in that position. And Snappy towards Arch blasts Jonji away. Ace, the next man to fall. 13-2, convincing fashion from Heroic. Again, I feel like there was a few rounds where we actually could have watched Rise Nation maybe finish things off. They created opportunities but couldn't close it out.
Yeah.
And then once they were at a back, it was just heroic going through the motions.
Yeah, here's one of the problems. Like when you're starting with a game like this one, maybe starting on the T side first game of the day, it could be something that I don't know, could be a better place to start. Because once you get dictated to, once a team is so well drilled like heroic, you don't really have any answers, and new players can't get into the game because they don't get to make the decisions. The decisions are being made by heroic. So yeah, it's not the place you want to be first thing on the morning on a Saturday in Jönköping, Sweden.
Definitely not.
Have you been here before?
Nope. This is my first time on Swedish soil.
It's not a lot to see in Jönköping, and you're used to snow, so I don't know. I was trying to think if there's anything around here for you.
Again, this does feel very comparable to home, I have to admit.
Okay, they just don't speak French as well as English.
Exactly.
Parlez-vous français?
Oui, certainement.
Oh. I don't speak any French. That's from a song.
All right. I was thoroughly impressed for a moment. I'm still impressed.
I want to learn a different language. I feel like an ignorant person living in Europe most of the time and only speaking one. But Modi, he's going to get aggressive early, going window, getting information. Not only information, the duel. And Jonji is taken down very, very quickly. But Moose capitalizing on the territory, making a trade. And Snappy's copped a bit of a dink. And he's had to... Actually, we call it bink in Australia. And he's had to scamper back to pit.
Roche is going to double in on this, actually. He's got Nico playing the role of Big Brother, looking to keep him safe. As Rise Nation, they set their sights on this A site, and not applying any pressure towards B is going to allow for e-tag to rotate over. Locks down Arch, really keeps these guys in pit committed. Rise Nation even scared. They're scared here, Sponge, but they will start to push forward. Snappy fires off. There's 2 frags back for Rise Nation, and hell, they've got a man advantage to play off of with a bomb plant to boot. e-tag to buy his time, wants to maybe find Dazzle if he were to ambitiously peek. He's got to be cautious. You'd hate to lose that little man buffer that you have held on to for the time being. Oop. There we have it, though. VSA, he slays the last 2, and Rise Nation have a pistol. They have an opportunity, a chance.
VSA has had impact in 2 of the 3 rounds that they've won. He's had multi-kills in 2 of the 3 rounds that they've actually been able to put on the board. But this is here, right? Now, people would probably argue. Now, let's say that this was like Heroic versus Mouse Sports or something along those lines, right? If you're Heroic, you should take the eco. You should eco, and you should just go for the first gun round because you can close very easily. You don't want to let the game get away from you. But because you're playing Rise, I would recommend the Force Buy, and we are seeing a bit of that. Deagle on Nico, who has been pretty proficient with it. Snappy's got one of his own. Modi and S-Tag on the CZs with a couple of smoke grenades in their back pocket. And Yugi only on the P250, but I like that. That means he can get his AWP up on that first gun round. Oh, okay. Well, here's another thing. Rise Nation yesterday on their anti-ecos, I didn't really like their approach. It looked like they wanted to go into executes early, but got scared when they saw someone and then backed off, and their mid-round decision-making is nowhere near as good as what it would need to be against this caliber of opponent. Here I was hoping for something a little bit more decisive. Looks like they've grabbed map control across the board, and they do want to go for middle. Pop Flash comes out, Dazzle leading the way with the Mac 10. They're going to meet Snappy, who is in a very, very weird position. Limbo, I might say.
Especially with the Mac 10 up close, this Deagle could be in question. Jonji deals with him first and foremost. And because they delayed that A hit just slightly, in fact, it was Yugi to rotate away, but now he's got so many backs being offered up to him. Modi with a frag, Yugi with one, and while Moose is able to trade and take control of that A bomb site, Heroic are still here and looking to deal damage, but the mag runs dry, and Dazzle just guns him down. So Rise Nation, looks like they've dodged it for now. e-tag maybe trying to throw in some Heroics.
Just grab a weapon in this kind of scenario, right? The key to it is the money situation in CSGO is different to that of 1.6 in Source because of the different bonuses that we see from the weapons. But something which is kind of rung true throughout is if you can grab three frags per round, you're forcing 3 guys to buy up into low buys or drops to come out. And when you get to the gun rounds, and you know they're having to look towards buying the UMPs instead of being able to get dropped. You can't drop 3 AKs if you only have 2 guys survive and your bank's not looking good, right? So unfortunately he's not able to grab that frag down to Dazzle, but Rise able to grab it relatively cleanly. Got a little bit scary there as Yugi popped out of the library in the backs, but got there in the end and doubled their rounds.
And this is what I'm hoping, at least from Rise Nation, right? Kind of like versus Gambit. Just a respectful scoreline. Give us something to praise. Give yourself something to go home with in your back pocket. Because again, these guys have a BO3 for a Pro League spot in the ESL Pro League coming up. They have more on the table than just this DreamHack performance, and so this doesn't end them. it just would have been a nice chance to find some experience, find some impact, and hopefully right now some anti-ecos. VSA with 3, Jonji the 4th. So an attempt from Heroic there to just stampede their way down Banana. And instead, Rise Nation, they clear the hurdle with relative ease, only losing 1 man in it.
You bang on there, though. Life's about learning.
It is.
Life's about learning, you know, and these tough trials and tribulations is how we get through. We grow as people. And these guys are all young. Your brain haven't even fully developed until you're 25, so we'll give them some time. Here we go. Yugi's got the all power. Here's the man. It's your move. Hashtag reference game on point.
Ooh, a little boost. Molotov could have convinced somebody behind the logs had Rise Nation gone for an early push, but instead the frag grenade's going to do good chip damage. That's EC tag to 44, Yugi on 3/4.
Moses will be proud that you whacked in chip damage there. It's one of his faves.
I'm always looking to make Moses proud.
Yeah, wait till we talk about server conditions. That'll get Henry nice and excited.
I'm just so worried Yugi's going to slam a shot through that wall.
And Jonji's head just falls apart.
Yeah.
But look, they've got the boiler control, they've got the hose control, and banana control. So the difference is, you can see from one half to the other, Heroic are playing for information. They have banana control-ish, or banana information with this boost. And they are playing transitional, right? You do have the player over towards that arch side checking every now and again. They are coming back into Yugi's AWP, and he's going to strike, he's going to take down Ace. And that's the opening.
I feel like you can contrast that situation to how efficiently Heroic used utility to get themselves back into Banana, and that's just a moment where Rise Nation walk dry around a corner and lose their AWP player. Lose the man advantage as well now that Heroic hold on, and with 3 players towards this A site, they've already got a good defense to try and lock off the push. Up close though, Snappy does go down. Jonji making a bit of space. This is going to put the defense in question as they start to wrap round. And sure enough, Moose with another headshot. But it's Maudie on the bomb site with 1, and that's it. VSA clears him from the corner. So despite losing into the 4 versus 5, they make something of the round. And they actually convince Heroic to save.
I'm not sure about that position from Snappy in that part of the round. You already had the number advantage. You could have played a little bit more passive, maybe mini pit, library, arch, somewhere where you could have, you know, taken a duel and gotten away. There he couldn't help anybody, and no one could help him. So his frag there was instrumental in that round falling apart. But they're going to hold on to the AWP. They're going to hold on to this M4 of S-Tag. And it's just going to be a bit of a grind here. This is where you expect Heroic to... I feel like they're going to take this with no dramas. It's just when are they going to do it?
Yeah. I mean, they have called for a tactical pause after this round comes to an end. Good opportunity to talk things over. Sure enough, we actually find Snappy in that very same close quarters position in the pistol round. Or the, excuse me, the force buy with the Deagle.
Yeah.
Right? So
maybe he gets success with it online. Arch, being one of the Arch players, especially like as the in-game leader and the secondary AWPer, you're more of like a linchpin, right? You're more to do with the rotation. You're not going to be the one calling for flashes for your teammates. You're probably the one flashing for them. And that it's a position where you are taking in all the information and you're rotating. Whereas maybe it is a position where you need someone just focused on their crosshair. Something which I definitely struggled with was worrying too much about what was going on in the other parts of the map as opposed to just focusing on getting those headshots. It sounds dumb, right? It sounds very stupid. But used to micromanaging as an in-game leader, used to being the one to dictate. And if that information's getting in the way and you're in a pivotal position like the Arch side, the Rap side, you could be in a bit of trouble. So I don't think there needs to be any changes there. Just they'll get there.
This is one of those moments, of course, where Heroic come in with just the M4 and an AWP, and I could very likely see Yugi going for like a Hail Mary off of the mid play. Grenades up close and already finding the AWP shot through the chest of Ace. Follow up to Jonji, and 1 by 1, Rise Nation trickle through.
He's called out the information. The help's come in. Moddy's found a Deagle kill of his own. He's going to go down, but Yugi's still lying in wait. Nice and close quarters. He's going to find this frag. Easy as that onto VSA. And Moose, 1-on-4 situation, has been able to saunter out of carpet there, but we'll go down to Nico's Deagle and a quick round in the bank for Heroic as they pick up their 14th and a very commanding position. This is exactly what you're talking about, right? That's such a good limbo position from Yugi. He's lucky that they came at him in that regard, but he was just going to go for a mid-pick. You know, he was waiting for that early flash, maybe that early utility. He's still going to take that fight because he knows that he can use that weapon and open up the board for his team. And now the double orbs come out.
For the nail in the coffin at this point. Yugi opened that door wide open. And those are of course the rounds where you...
Ooh! I love to see that. Moose with 2 while we're all getting impressed by a boost there, but this is where the decision comes in. Are they going to fall onto the A bomb site? It looks like they are, and Snappy's going to find one, but it's not going to really reap any benefits as they're forced to save again. And hashtag's the only man alive in this scenario. Jonji's close enough. They're going to hunt him. This is where you're yelling. You get him, boys. Chase him. Don't let him save it. Take this away from Heroic. Put him in a rough position. That's an escape route opened up for S-Tag as he does find Jonji. Going to scamper down Banana, but Ace has cut off that rotation, and now he's stuck between a rock and a hard place if he wants to hold on to Yugi's AWP for the follow-on. Oh, all right.
You know, that's actually the second time I've seen something new with run boosts on Inferno in just 2 weeks.
Okay.
At the WESG event in Barcelona last weekend, we watched Twist go for a run boost on mid that sped him up so he could go for a faster mid peak.
Nice.
But the thing is that the ground coming around from arch side is actually slightly lower once you get closer to mid.
Okay.
And so the person that boosts you never has to crouch. So at no point you have to take the time to let him stand up and then run.
Quite nice.
You can jump from the ground onto the guy's head and then go for a run boost, and he gets a mid pick with it.
Innovation. I love to see it.
Beautiful stuff. That as well from Yugi, something I had never seen before, but devil's in the details. And as quickly as he got himself onto the boost, Rise Nation get themselves back into the game because that was a fast execution towards that A site. Kills came out of nowhere. They look to clash it again.
He just got wall banged. Snappy just caught one through the wall there as trying to jump away, and this is they're going for the half banana control, right? They've got the I'm not going to call it car. We'll call it the barrels. The barrels and sandbag under their dominance, and Yugi's going to swing back over. I like this gambit play. I like this call, right? Move that AWP around. Keep it as mobile as possible. Keep the T's guessing. Someone like Yugi who's very explosive. It's good to keep him on his toes as well. Not a lot of utility left for the Heroic side to fend off any attack, and it does look like the guys from Rise are posturing for a B execute as the nades rain out.
And we watch grenades from Heroic pressure Ace out of this position. Yugi, in this case, is allowed to just reside back in that corner, and EC Tag with the safety of the water, finding himself the first. But Ace will respond, and Yugi tries to spot him out, but Ace just creating a distraction. Up close, the rifle tries to win the duel, and it does. That's VSA now with an even ground, 3v3, a bomb plant to follow suit, but they're already boxed in. The after plant's going to be tough with no banana control. If Ace can really lock down construction, then that's something that they can play off of, especially with a Molotov here as an insurance policy from Moose, looking to buy time, and Heroic already playing with it. Seeing as they don't have kits.
Time's the key. No kits. That's the key. That's the key right here.
Really, really slow thus far, but Ace's aim is put off guard. He will double back for another angle. VSA gets Nico off of that CT push, and here we have it. This is certainly a round from Rise Nation. Like you said, time the issue. So Maudi's looking to deal damage, dropping the op of the T side, maybe finding another.
Yeah, look, if the guys from Heroic had a kit there and they were posturing for that long, something that it definitely happens is teams get a bit shaky. Like, oh, they're saving. We'll go for the chase, or we'll start exiting now, and you can find a kill, you can find 2 kills, and then you can have that retake. But in that scenario with no kit, no utility, I guess they wanted to do damage to the economy, and sure, you know, they've kept Rise relatively modest. We got 7K on VSA, we got about 3,300 on Moose, so there's enough money for them to get some scrappy buy, even if they lose this follow-up round. But maybe just a save would have given them another competitive chance. Here, it's almost gifting them that 9. And maybe more so because we've only got 1,900 on Snappy. I know he has that M4, but it's difficult to hold on to that 2 rounds in a row. 2,300 on the likes of Yugi, Modi, S-Tag, and Nico on... yeah, he's only got 2K himself, so not enough. Not enough. What are you buying with 2K nowadays? Not a lot. I want a phone cost you $1,000.
Just a Negev.
Oh. Yeah, true.
I'm not going to get ahead of myself, but so far, this T side, score-wise, it's been more successful Rise Nation than Heroic.
Look, let's not get too far ahead of ourselves here. I think, you know, it just seems like a matter of time until Heroic close, and that's not taking anything away from Rise. They've had some executes come in, they've been able to find some nice opening frags, but it's a very, very tall mountain to climb. Tall task. High mountain.
Steep mountain.
Steep mountain, yeah.
Last man up is Yugi. Sure enough, with an M4, maybe he deals some damage. No one else really did. I mean, they did damage, but no frags.
Kills are a bonus, really. There we go, there's one.
That's all he gets.
Were you old enough? You're probably not old enough. when Yu-Gi-Oh was on TV.
Oh, hell yeah.
Really?
I'm 23.
That
at least puts me within Yu-Gi-Oh.
I suppose. Maybe I was watching too late into my.
I was gonna say, how old were you watching Yu-Gi-Oh here?
I think I was like
Chad?
14. Maybe that's even a bit too much. Here we go. Tactical pause from Heroic. Peacemaker, the new coach, taking over from Fetish, shouting out commands, telling the boys what they need to do to close this one out. Talking about the mistakes. The CT side, the mistakes are they're a little bit easier to kind of work on. It's like, hey, get a headshot, you know? Like, don't make a dumb decision, or let's eco and get utility, or let's do this little move mid-round. Like, they've just been dictated a few times too, and they haven't really had that presence of mind with the map control. Moose finding those 2 openings on that earlier gun round. I think it was 2 rounds or 3 rounds ago now. That kind of stuff you can't really account for. So here we see them. It's another weird buy. We don't have any kits and fast banana control. All 5 members from Rise making their way in quickly to the hands of Yugi, finding 1, and the trades come out.
Straight away, but oh, Snappy. He lines them up, deals a lot of damage already, and yet still Ace comes out on top. 5 HP in that moment. And that's now created this opportunity whereby, sure enough, okay, CT's still in control, right? They don't have the kits, but they can play faster. And they have a health advantage, really, to play off of. I would like to see Rise Nation use the Molotovs to slow down this retake. Although they might want to hang on to them for even longer, seeing as, of course, Ace has a nice off angle. This could certainly catch one man off guard, and then that would allow for Jonji to come swinging wide, but there it is, Molotov.
They should say if this is it, that round's done. The pace from Rise, blink and you miss it. They came in super quick.
Jonji about to throw his 3rd Molotov this round as he picks up the utility.
He's just sitting on a nice treasure chest of nades. He's laughing about it. You can see him having a giggle. That's where they want to be. Rise competitive once more. He's shaking his head. They can't believe it. I can't believe it. Snappy, almost the hero there, right? If he managed to get that lineup, that would have been all she wrote for Rise in that one, and pushing Heroic up to the 15th. That change of pace, the balls on that call, the fact that they're willing to do that coming out of a pause. Good decision making, right? This is what we spoke about yesterday when they were playing. They did have good decisions, right? They made some good calls, but it's just they weren't able to close out with the skill that they needed.
And they nearly lost that in the exact same fashion, right? Yeah. Snappy was so close to just mowing down those last 3 remaining players.
By no means is this a team map. For people at home, if you're new to Counter-Strike, this is not a team map. This is Heroic probably only having 2 gun rounds thus far, where they've had full utility as well as kits. And a stake in the rounds. They haven't really been taking this one in the way that I would have liked. I did agree with the force buy early on. There we go again. We're seeing the same thing. The window, the apps control coming out early. Very similar, but it seems more so that Rise have been getting more of the map early, whereas what we saw from Heroic was they were posturing in T-stairs, waiting for the banana and the Molotovs to disappear in that part of the map and then taking it back, whereas Rise are being a bit more aggressive. They're actually playing with some Staguts.
I feel like that comes down to Heroic having the proper setups as far as retakes are concerned, right? With the flashbangs and that kind of layer to the taking of the top of Banana, whereby Rise Nation, I can't help but feel like they just need more gun duels. That's when they're finding their openings, as opposed to kind of, letting Heroic get comfortable.
Definitely so.
Always keeping them on their feet, but right now it's Jonji to die towards B, and this is perfectly fine. Rise Nation are just gonna hit the opposite side. So unless Snappy has Heroics in this one, we nearly saw him find 3 frags. He will not kick it off with even 1. DSA jumps past his aim, pops his noggin, and plants the bomb.
That's upsetting to go down like that. You could see it on his face when he died. He knew he should have probably made that frag. They want to hold on to these weapons the best they can. The money situation right now is it's looking okay. Obviously, that loser bonus is maxed the hell out, so they're not going to have any issues buying. They're going to get a full gun round on their side. It's just the problem is the later the game goes, the chance for that hard reset for the side of Heroic comes into play, right? We're going to have an 11th round on the board right now for Rise. Even if they concede the next, we're talking 15-11, they win the following. Talking 15-12, the hard reset comes out for Heroic. This is where they start looking at each other. The panic sets in. The nerves start getting a bit shakier. So they should have everything here, right? They got enough in the bank. Do they opt for the double AWP? Probably not. I don't think Snappy needs it. I think keep Yugi mobile, keep that kid moving around left, right, and center. You don't need to use him as a spearhead. I don't think you need to go for any overly aggressive plays. Just play a solid round, Don't need to take too many risks. You don't need to. They have opted for the double AWP, so it's not the worst thing in the world. I think as long as Snappy doesn't go down without too much of a fight.
I thought maybe this round we'd watch Heroic go for that early op stance, right? You know, maybe try and steal away a 5v4, but Snappy's just going to remain posted, and this is another opportunity for Rise Nation to work their way through apps.
Is that a missed mid smoke? That seemed very, very limp. Maybe it's to pick the boiler side? Maybe it is. Maybe this is something I haven't seen before, as they take mid control quickly. They have Porch under wraps, and it looks like they make their way into this A-bomb side very quickly. Molotovs are exchanged, and Modi's burning alive.
Nico's able to find the first. That one off of Balkan. As he drops down, he stops another. Snappy finding VSA, but here's the response back from Rise Nation. They found 2 frags so far, and there is Moose into the 1v2. Very little health to play off of, but at least he jumps past Yugi, and that's going to ensure the plant, forcing Heroic to come to him. Still very difficult position, obviously, even if he had a full bar of HP. Players come pushing in, and Yugi's going to steal it away. So Heroic will secure overtime, but at least Rise Nation have they've mowed it down to 4.
Feels like a very long time since we saw Heroic win a round, but you can see the strategy coming out was, it wasn't a contact play, probably more of an explosion from the guys of Rise. A nice little mix-up. It almost caught Heroic with their pants down, but Nico standing large and in charge on the balcony with some very, very integral frags, putting a stop to that attack, and now the pause will come out. The timeout was taken by Modi.
Yep.
Maybe they're just talking over how they're going to approach this last round. Peacemaker there, barking the orders, letting them know what needs to happen to close this one. Should never have gotten to this stage. We're talking a 13-2 first half as teased on Inferno. This is not the Counter-Strike you expect first thing on a Saturday morning, that's for sure. But definitely Rise once more proving they're able to, you know, they've got strats, they can frag, they've got some good mid-round decision-making going on. The potential is there. So let's just see which one of these players gets poached first.
Another map, of course, that comes down to a weak CT side.
Fed up of seeing that. This event so far, I think there's only one map that has had a positive CT side on, and that was Cache, whereas every other game has been better T sides.
What happened to Counter-Strike?
I don't know. We have it swings and roundabouts CSGO. It's always changing. People are always reinventing. Once again, the default comes out. This is where you don't want to get too timid if you Rise. You've done a fantastic job with changes of pace. I'm not asking them to go for a rush in this scenario, but let's just not sit back to the last 30 seconds and be scared when you've actually clawed it back this far. They've done a fantastic job. You can see the adjustment from Heroic, though. They're not being so aggressive on Banana. They're happy to hold on to the utility. They're happy to put a stop to that attack when it comes in. And, same setup as before. One player over the arch side, one in the pit, and one playing in limbo around quad and side. So like the B attack will be coming out from Rise as the bomb is over in that part of the map, and everyone else is reconvening. Oh, it's going to be a double pump. So they've thrown utility out early. This is to force out whatever Heroic's got in the bank, their Molotovs, their flashes. And then they'll hit it again.
Oh, the smoke and a great flash. Still enough. Yugi can stop one from Coffin, and he misses his Molotov as well. That's 2 flub grenades in a single round from Yugi. Follow-up volley from Rise Nation. Double smokes. It's going to make Yugi a little uncomfortable here. Could play on the edge of this, but does he really want to go charging through this? Do they really want to eat the reset? They will go for the boost. Snappy putting Modi above, who is finding 1 frag, and Yugi still just toying with the idea of a player pushing through. But the follow-up utility from Rise Nation is yet again good. The layers here on the utility has certainly helped them out. Moose spots the barrel of Snappy. He's trying to just creep around the corner, and it costs him. Yugi still over towards Coffin, has not found any impact in this round. And all of a sudden...
Yeah, save, man. Get out of this. This is that reset I was talking about. This is not the position you want to be in as Heroic. That flash getting thrown out by Yugi, completely lining up S-Tag there as he went for that banana retake. That top banana information play was... that's a blunder. That's not what you want to see coming out this late in the game, and it's a very difficult position. Yugi's going to find Moose running away. It's not really much of a consolation. The only positive is they get to hold on to the M4, they get to hold on to the AWP, and they get a chance to make a miracle happen in the next round. I would like to see them force buy right now, and I know that sounds crazy. It sounds a little bit nutty, but just do it. Just get stuck in.
I mean, even if they decide not to, remember that the 5th round of the game, the one that was the first CT round, or excuse me, the 5th round of the second half, the first CT round from Heroic comes off of the back of a saved AWP and a saved M4. Sure enough, Yugi steps up, gets 3 or 4 frags in it, and single-handedly then puts them in a position to try and follow up. reset didn't help.
Yeah,
But,
Rise also ran into that blender a little bit as well, right? They
Yeah.
tried to change the pace there. But they've tried it 3 times now, and twice it's paid off. So it's not necessarily a bad thing to be mixing it up. I can definitely appreciate having the gusto to try new things across the board. But this is the big question mark, right? When we saw them come out of the pause before, they went fast. That's the way they dealt with anything that could be thrown at them from Heroic, and they have done that twice. So let's see if they go for another quick play.
I was, of course, playing fast even versus full buys, let alone this pieced together purchase. Yugi's going to go through the smoke, so not having to sit back, but rather getting aggressive himself. But just next to him is Dazzle, and he's not going to hit the flick. VSA finds Nico. That's both guns down. It is unarmored pistol players that remain, unless Madi gets his hands on it, and he does. Could still be a threat, but a minimal one at that.
Okay, so he's not going. Modi's not really prolific with the AWP by any means. Even if he could find a frag and they could pick up another weapon and hold on to it for Yugi going into the next, that would be great. We've got S-Tag on about 4K, so someone could be dropping an AWP, but if you can hold on to it, that's even better. This round, I don't want to call it over, but it is. Pack her up, boys.
Pucker up, boys.
No. Pack her up. Pack her up, boys. The Aussies out there will get the reference. They'll all be awake right now.
NA coming to life not only in server, but also in time.
How did he even get a kill?
Don't know.
He shouldn't have got a frag there. That's such a dirty spot playing in the fountain. Here we go. Save the AWP, Modi. Hold on to it. But this is where the chase should be like on. This is where like the in-game leader, this would be me. Get him, boys. Get the dog. Hunt him down. And just yelling. But this is why I wish Counter-Strike was like it used to be. We just had teams facing each other. And they like, I'm standing up and I'm like yelling.
Yeah.
And that's what the fans want to see.
I mean, that's the CS Rise Nation's used to, right? They play at local NA events along the lines of like Fragadelphia, MDL LAN as well. You're very close proximity, so even hell, the minor that they went to, it was all side by side.
They look a bit timid. They need to get.
Oh no.
No, they're not.
Maybe because they're in a new territory, but these guys have attitude. They've got spunk.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Kind of makes them a little bit of fan favorites, I'd argue, when it comes to the up and up of NA.
Oh boy, it's not looking good for Heroic at all. This buy, what do we got? We got 4 M4s, the AWP, very, very limited utility. 1 kit though, let's look at the bright side. They're gonna need to make some magic happen here as it looks like they're going for the standard. This time Banana Control is coming out. They want to get back into it and getting boosted up again. Let's see what he can see. Peering over the top of the wall. Okay.
Oh my God.
Okay. We see you, Yugi. We see you. This is one of the first times in a while that an opening has come out from Heroic where hasn't been instantly traded or territory hasn't been gained across the map. But Moose is aiming to do something about that as he has swiftly taken all the holes control and he will be relaying that. It looks like he's going to go for the lurk play. As Banana Control by the rest of his unit is being slowly established. They do have enough utility to go for an execute, or at least, fake something out. Where Yugi is sitting and lying in wait, he will probably let the utility swing in past him and stay and fight because he's playing in front of it. Oh!
Ace! That's what his movement is always so fun to watch. Very explosive AWP player, gets that opening, and that's what they wanted, the op duel. Now it's EC-Tag tasked with trying to hold off here. He stops one Snappy through the smoke with another, and VSA with a chance to plant in a 2 versus 3. But here's Moose, cutting down Madi already.
Huge play by Moose there. He's going to delay that rotation coming in from old boy Nico, and Snappy's on his own in a one-on-one. This is the chance that he needed to pounce on and potentially get that defuse started. But the Molotov of VSA is going to hold him at bay, and we've seen Heroic struggle with these retakes. Can they get anything done now?
Off the flash, Snappy mowed down. VSA stops it yet again. So it's all on Nico. 1v2, and VSA will do it. Rise Nation with a 14th off of a 4 versus 5. Let's talk about that boost, Sponge.
What is happening? That boost, okay, that boost, that little jump by Ace, out-opening Yugi, that was sick.
Yeah.
That was a nice little play. I like that. I like the flair behind that. That's a great way to get the equalizer there, and we see Heroic once more really struggling. But these are the rounds. These are the ones that the Counter-Strike gods, for some reason, have thrown at us time and time again. And this is where Heroic could pull the rabbit out of the hat as 3 players postured over towards Banana. Utility rains out early, and they forced Ace away. A little bit of chip damage exchange. Snappy taking a few points of health down as he moves through the fire. He's going to go down to Jonji. I don't know about that play, but 4 on 5 now. Advantage. Make that 3 on 5 as Ace chimes in. Yugi going to find a Deagle headshot. through the corner of the wall, and he's going to keep fighting. I don't care. Modi with one of his own. This is chaotic as hell.
Getting scary. These 1v1s being given away versus just the pistols, and I mean, that's all they are. There's no retrieved weapons. There's barely any utility for them to play with either. Just flashbangs to try and dictate duels. Can't help but feel like Rise Nation should just clump themselves together, finish off with a proper execution, put Heroic in a questionable spot, and force this into OT, but crazier things have happened, and Heroic already starting to pull this one from a 3v5 to a 3v3. Nico can be a linchpin at times, and they're going to have to get past him. They offer up his side. VSA down for the count. Nico trying to get this in, and he reloads. But it's Moose now to clutch. 1v2. He's playing with 30 seconds time, and he wants the plant. That's going to force them into his hands. Have they come this far just to fall at the final hurdle, or are Rise Nation going to put this game in question? He's going to wrap around. And he could actually skewer this retake. Now, the awkward situation is, how does he get back towards bomb without giving himself up? Doesn't know where they're at. Little info, and here we have it. Yugi with a headshot, and Heroic with a soul-crushing 30th round on Inferno. Dreams have been broken.
No one won in that game. Besides us and the viewers. Nobody won. If you're Heroic, you're so frustrated that it took you until the 30th round of the game to close that out. You're sitting there thinking, boys, what are we doing here? You know, we're in the driver's seat. That's a 13-2 first half, and then you've got Rise going out in that fashion.